You're watching Hidden Coast Surf Online, private surf coaching in Nosara, Costa Rica. For more details, please visit hiddencoastsurf.com. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Hidden Coast Online. I'm Ollie Davis, and today we're going to be talking about, I was having trouble naming this video. Basically, this video is really good for those of you who are intermediate surfers who have figured out how to go down the line, okay, how to surf down the face or across the face of an unbroken wave. And now maybe you're thinking to yourself, okay, what is next? Like, what now? What's the next thing that we want to start to achieve on the wave? And so what this video is about is, for those of you who are at this level, we're going to start looking at now how to start doing interesting things on the wave face in a logical progression, okay? So what is the next logical step? This is a very common place where people can plateau in their surfing, okay? What I mean by that is people get to this point where they're surfing across the unbroken face of a wave, okay? And it's a really good place to get to, and people can be very kind of like happy about that because it's fun. It's really, really fun. You graduate from the white water to out the back surfing, catching unbroken waves, angling the takeoff, getting up and going down the line. Suddenly the speed is increased, and it's a really, really fun part of surfing. But I've seen many people, as a coach, I've seen many people get stuck here for weeks, months, or even years, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is, specifically speaking, we're going to start thinking about doing carving turns on the unbroken face of the wave. So now we are successfully surfing down the line of an unbroken wave. Our wave can end in one of two ways, okay? The first way our wave can end is that the white water advances past us and we get stuck back in the white water and we're no longer on the open face of the wave, and typically we're not going to catch back up to that, and so the wave, in terms of us going down the line of an unbroken face of the wave, it comes to an end. The other way it can happen is that the wave, rather than presenting us with white water in front of us, actually flattens out, okay, and becomes less steep, and therefore the wave becomes slack, doesn't really push us along, and eventually will come off the back. So our challenge now as surfers is dealing with these two situations, okay, that will possibly prematurely cut your wave short. Okay, so here is the problem that you're faced with when you actually get going down the line. If you think about an unbroken, lovely, clean, unbroken long wave, okay, this is a very, very valuable thing. It's taken you a long time. You've had to maybe drive to the beach, paddle out and maybe big surf, hassle with other people, and you finally get your wave, and maybe it's long, maybe it's 100 meters out in front of you. We are very, very unlikely to try and do a turn or any kind of maneuver that we don't yet know how to do, for the fear that we're going to jeopardize this very long, very, very valuable wave stretched out in front of us, okay? So the emphasis that we're going to put on this video is going to be at the end of the wave. And by the end of the wave, what I mean is that if you imagine you're at a beach break and you're cruising down the line of a wave, and essentially in the closing seconds of the wave, it's going to close out on you probably, and we're going to be forced to either jump off or fall off. In those closing seconds before that happens is a very, very valuable learning opportunity, because suddenly the cost of failure is zero. It's not that we've got our 100 meters in front of us where the cost of failure is very, very high. When the wave is about to close out, or it's about to just flatten and you're going to come off the back unavoidably, we have an opportunity. We have speed and we're still on the wave, but in the closing seconds we have a golden opportunity to do something experimental, something kind of daring, because we're either going to jump off or fall off in the next 5 seconds anyway. So that allows us an opportunity psychologically where we have nothing to lose and we can go for broke and go for the biggest, most interesting turn we can. And if you do that on every wave from now on, okay, as opposed to just jumping off and falling off, the thing is that if you keep doing that, then in a year's time we'll still be doing the same thing, we'll still be stuck on our plateau. But if we start going for broke at the end of the wave and going for a nice big turn or something, some kind of lip hit or anything like that, then in a year's time you'll find that you are miles ahead of where you would have been if we weren't trying this, okay? So I want to introduce you to a very, very long wave here, okay? I know this is on the TV, this is not the best resolution for the camera to pick up, but I wanted to be able to like point things out while it's playing. So this is Chicama in Peru, okay? A sort of a world famous, very long left-hand point break. And this is a student of ours who was, he's basically exactly at the level that we're talking about in this video, where he is pretty much just, I don't know if I'll just press play here, lovely, long, beautiful wave. He's pretty much at this point here, very small carving turn right here, but essentially we're just going down the line. Continually just going down the line, down the line, down the line, and there's not a lot else going on in this video. And it's the point where this guy here, his name's Jason, this guy here, he would greatly benefit from a week or two or three or a month of just practicing doing carving turns at the end of a wave. Okay, so you can see here what happens to your surfing is that it just becomes quite featureless, quite bland. There's not a lot going on here that we can really look at, as you can see here. Just sort of surfing along, and you know, he's a particularly good surfer, like he learned really quickly, but he's at just that sort of plateau level where there's just not much happening here, just a lot of standing and going down the line. And this is the prison that we want to break out of. Okay, it's still going very, very, very long wave, over a minute and a half long, I think it was a 90-second ride. And the thing is here, is I think it comes to an end for him here, but it carries on peeling and peeling and peeling and peeling and peeling off into the distance. Really, really fun wave. So again, I want to use a video here on the TV screen so I can actually point things out on the camera here. Basically, what we want to now stop doing in our surfing is this, where this is what we're talking about, the closing seconds of a wave here, where you can just see right now, a couple of seconds later, the wave comes to an end, as in the whole thing becomes white water and there's no more open face to surf. So we don't want to do this anymore because we've kind of lost the opportunity here to actually learn to do essentially what we want to do here is a carving turn, okay? And that's what we're going to start thinking about doing. So the next clip showed us, well, this is just some text, so this is one of the coaching videos that we use. At the end of the wave, you've got nothing to lose, okay? So psychologically, you're in a strong position to try something experimental. Now this wave here, it's pretty junky, it's not very nice, it's on shore, okay? And it's closing out, it doesn't offer us a particularly long ride. The cool thing about junky waves is that, again, there's nothing to lose. It doesn't matter if you have a whole session of wipeouts, but it does allow you to start doing interesting things. So rather than safely coming off the back of the wave, we're going to, and again, I'm referring back to carving turns that we talked about in video number 2 here, we're going to do a nice big step back so that the weight is on the back of the board, as you can see here, the nose is high up in the air, and we're going to lean on this rail here, which allows us to come around and do a nice turn. So if you remember the video we talked about where we were talking about trimming down the line, remember we said that when we're going down the line of a wave, if we're forward on the board, like now, we're imprisoned by the fact that we can only go in this direction, okay? So on this video here, this surfer can only go this way. If we start pressing on the other rail, the rail that's closest to the beach, that is going to dig in and we're going to fall off. So what absolutely has to happen is we have to get the weight back. So we've stepped back now, the nose comes up into the air, and you can see it's high up in the air here, and that then allows us to free the nose up so we can come around really nicely, and we can carve back around to the beach. Okay, same thing here, nice bit of footage here, you can see the end of the wave has come, okay, so you've got this left-hander here, got the surfer going down the line in a helpful, good stance, and then before the end of the wave comes, again, closing seconds, we step back, and we go for a nice big turn just before the end of the wave. So we use all that available speed, and now again, it doesn't matter if we fall at this point because we were going to fall anyway. The wave was over, it didn't matter. Again, same thing here, wave comes to an end, okay? And you can see how we're in the stance. So again, I would invite you to watch the stance video, video number 1, just to make sure that your stance is up to scratch, because it is very important to be standing in a helpful way at this moment, okay? So we've got the weight back again, okay, nose is right up out of the air, our hands are over the rails, our foot's in the middle, but you can see that our weight is all the way back on the back foot, because you can see that extended front leg there, all the weight is on the back foot, the back of the board, and allows us to do a nice big carving turn. And again, the wave has come to an end. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all white water. We've fallen off. But if you think about doing this on every single wave that you now surf, if you're a regular surfer within a week, a month, a year, you've probably done tens, if not hundreds, of these turns. And the beautiful thing about these turns at the end of the wave is that you can do them with full commitment. It doesn't need to be precarious. Okay, we don't need to do it gently for fear that we're going to lose the wave. We can go for it, and that is by far and away the quickest way to learn any physical skill such as this. In this scenario, okay, this surfer here, back to in Chicama, there's a lot riding on this. If he steps back and turns and loses this wave, do you have any idea how much effort it takes to get back up to the point? You've got to flag a boat down, they've got to come and pick you up, you've got to go all the way back up to the point. It's busy at the point, there's a lot of people there. So this wave is enormously valuable, okay? And if he steps back and turns and he gets it wrong, if he stuffs it, he's lost an incredibly valuable wave. So you can understand why someone at this level would be hesitant to lose a wave like this, okay? Because it's clearly really fun going down the line. You know, it's not like he's not having a great time. He's definitely having a great time. There's the boat there. So you can see how you can get stuck in this. You can get stuck never ever really trying anything. And actually, right here, that was his time, right there. Okay, the wave comes to an end. At this point here, we decided, okay, the wave is coming to an end. We're going to step back and go for a great big turn. So that next year, let's imagine that this guy comes back next year, he's done 100 carving turns. It's no longer an experimental maneuver, okay? It's a much more fun thing that he knows that he can do, and maybe there's a small chance that he'll fall, but ultimately 99 times out of 100 he's going to make that turn. And then we can start getting to more interesting things like cutbacks, and then we're moving up the ladder of surfing quite considerably to a place where we can really be in command of staying in that sweet spot on the wave like we talked about in the trimming video, the last video that we posted. So to sum up this video, what I want to say is to get yourself out of the prison of continually going down the line forever, okay? Look at the end of the wave and look at the opportunity where you can step back and do the biggest carving turn you can do with the fullest commitment you can. And our next video will be about cutbacks. That'll be the next logical progression from here.